Hello and welcome to Animation Breakdown. I'm your host Luxoman, breaking down crappy animated movies for your viewing pleasure. If you don't know anything about me, know this. I freaking love the Looney Tunes.
From 1930 all the way up until 1969, Warner Brothers released a series of timeless animated shorts that are still as fresh, funny and awe-inspiring as they were 70 years ago. I could go on and on about how these shorts changed the face of animation and comedy, but we don't have all day.
The point is, even after the Golden Age ended, through numerous TV airings and home video releases, the shorts remained extremely popular, influential and beloved by children and adults of all ages. Until 1996 when they made Space Jam.
Oh boy, I'm gonna piss off a lot of 90s kids by doing this, but I really don't like this movie. I rented it from the store several times as a kid, and I thought it was okay. Just okay. However, as an adult, I can't stand it. But so many people defend this movie. How can you hate this movie? It's a childhood classic. It was the movie that defined the 90s. Seriously, 90s kids. Take off your goddamn nostalgia goggles. This movie has not aged well. At all. As a matter of fact, it didn't even hold up then. Not only is it one of the most dated and pandering things associated with the Looney Tunes, but it's also a big F you to the Looney Tunes legacy. It's probably the Looney Tunes equivalent to... well, okay, not quite that bad, but still the beginning of the end. There you go.
So what's wrong with the movie? Well, let's start with the production history.
In the early 90s, basketball star Michael Jordan starred alongside Bugs Bunny and Marvin the Martian in a series of commercials for Nike's new brand of Air Jordan tennis shoes, Hair Jordans.
Ha ha ha.
These were such a hit, selling millions of t-shirts, toys and other crappy merchandise, that Michael Jordan convinced the heads of Warner Brothers to turn the commercials into a feature-length movie.
So that's right. This entire movie is nothing more than a giant Nike commercial.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
What makes this worse is that this was the first real Looney Tunes movie.
Oh sure, we had a bunch of compilation films such as the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie and Daffy Duck's Quackbusters, but those weren't new, those were just the shorts shoved together to make a movie. We also had those brief but awesome cameo appearances in the equally awesome Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but those were just cameos. They weren't the main stars of the film.
This was the first full-length motion picture to star the Looney Tunes with entirely new material, and it was only made to sell Nike tennis shoes. Let me put this in perspective for you non-Looney Tunes fans.
Let's take Batman. Everybody likes Batman. Say you waited years and years to see a fully realised Batman film on the big screen, and after years and years of waiting, in his first cinematic appearance, he had to play second fiddle to Justin Bieber in a film designed to sell Dove shampoo.
Yeah, if you think that sounds god-awful, then you're starting to get an idea about how I feel about this movie.
But hey, there are lots of great movies that were made for commercial reasons. Believe it or not, the film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was only made to promote a line of Wonka chocolate bars, but the creators put a lot of time, effort and passion into the film, and now it's considered a classic. Hell, if the Lego Movie taught us anything, it's that even a movie based on a toy line can be so good that it can cause outrage for not being nominated for an Oscar for Best Animated Film.
I mean, come on. It's not like the writers of this film are just going to throw any piece of crap story together just so they can make a quick buck, right?
You see, these aliens come from outer space and they want to make us slaves in their theme park. What do we care? They're little, so we challenge them to a basketball game. But then they show up and they ain't so little. They're huge! We need to beat these guys, because they're talking about slavery. They're gonna make us do stand-up comedy, the same jokes every night for all eternity. We're gonna be locked up like wild animals and then trotted out to perform for a bunch of lowbrow, bug-eyed, fat-headed, humor-challenged aliens.
I missed, fortunately for you. So now, mon chéri, we can...
Alright, let's get into the review itself. And before I start, I just want to clarify that I am not a basketball or sports fan. I'm judging this movie strictly from a film and Looney Tunes fan perspective. This isn't meant to be a comment on Michael Jordan or any of the sports stars that appear in the film as people, just the characters they play in the movie. So our movie begins with
I believe I can fly. I believe.
okay, this isn't too bad. There's a nice song and music playing.
Come on, let's go inside.
Just one more shot?
All right. Just one.
Yeah.
That's good. Shoot it again.
You think if I get good enough, I can go to college?
Hey. You get good enough, you can do anything you want to, Michael.
I want to play at North Carolina. I want to play on a championship team. Then I want to play in the NBA.
Gee, kid, you seem to have your life pretty well planned out at this stage. I mean, when I was your age, I wanted to be a zookeeper and run my own zoo. And now I'm blogging about animation. I mean, you don't have to decide everything right now. So it begins.
Hey, how come Daffy Duck doesn't get billing? Hell, even the sports stars get billing over Daffy.
What? That rabbit's name over mine? I'm the star. I'll just see about this.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam.
In all fairness though, one of the few positive aspects about this movie is the soundtrack. While I'm not a big fan of rap or hip-hop music, and it's not exactly Carl Stalling, it's still pretty awesome. Even the legendary James Newton Howard did the score. Although I do hope all these flashing lights in the opening don't give kids seizures. Ivan Reitman produced this? Oh come on man, you directed Ghostbusters, you're better than this. I mean, look at this picture. Even at the premiere he looks bored and disinterested in this movie.
Yes, kids, Michael Jordan should be president. Jordan is Jesus. Still better than Trump.
So our movie truly begins with Michael Jordan retiring from basketball to take up a career in baseball. And yes, this is actually something that really happened. Meanwhile, an outer space amusement park is not doing very well.
Let's get out of here, Dad. This stinks. Don't bring me here anymore, right?
Wait, what?
Don't bring me here anymore, right?
Okay. Like I said, I rented this movie from the store several times when I was a kid. And I, for the love of God, could never figure out what this kid just said.
Don't bring me here anymore, right?
Stupiding me anymore, right? Is this how the writers thought kids talked back in the 90s? I mean, it sounds like someone wrote a sentence in a foreign language and used Google Translate to convert it to English.
So anyway, an alien businessman voiced by Danny DeVito is losing money and needs new attractions.
Told you if I've told you once, I told you 1,000 times. We need new...
Whoa! Way too close to the camera, buddy.
So in a totally not contrived way, whilst pondering how to fix his problem, he accidentally sits on the TV remote, which coincidentally tunes into classic Looney Tunes cartoons. That I would honestly be rather watching than this movie.
Shoot me!
Yes! Looney! Yes! Now you're talking. Get the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes!
Bring 'em here.
Sir, they're from Earth. What if they can't come?
What did you say? What if they can't come? Make 'em. Make 'em. Looney.
My God! How dare they? How dare a really shitty amusement park company enslave the classic and beloved Looney Tunes and make shitty rides out of them. I mean, that's immoral. Unspeakable even. I mean, can you imagine how awful that would be if that happened in real life?
Six Flags is the only one in this world of rides and fun. This is where Buzz lives. Looney Tunes Town. Me and you find so much to ride and do. This is where Buzz lives. Looney Tunes Town. Six Flags.
Guess maybe aliens aren't so bad after all.
So back on Earth, we have to sit through a lot of really boring scenes of Michael Jordan sucking a baseball.
Good cut, Michael. Good cut.
That was a strikeout, Mike? That was a good-looking strikeout. Real good. I mean, you look good when you strike out, man. When I strike out, man, it looks nasty.
Remember, kids, Jordan is Jesus.
Podolak! Podolak, come here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Come here.
Yes, sir.
Oh good, Wayne Knight's in this movie. Maybe we'll get some real comedy.
Man, at least you look good, man. Good looking.
Oh, hi, Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan, I'm still...
Oh, maybe not.
So anyway, the aliens fly over the baseball stadium and go to kidnap the Looney Tunes in the centre of the Earth.
Wait. You're telling me the Looney Tunes live in the centre of the Earth? The Looney Tunes live in the centre of the Earth. The Looney Tunes live in the centre of the Earth. That's just stupid. That's just beyond dumb. That is the dumbest premise for a movie I've ever heard. I mean, what were these guys smoking when they wrote this?
So they travel to the centre of the Earth, where we meet Bugs Bunny, voiced by...
I'll be with you in a second, folks, after I finish with Nature Boy here.
Billy West.
Now, don't misunderstand me. Billy West is a great voice actor. He's done lots of great work for Ren and Stimpy and Futurama, amongst many others. He even does a really good job voicing Elmer in this movie.
All right, you pesky wabbit. I've got you now.
But whenever he does Bugs Bunny, all I hear is Philip J. Fry with a Brooklyn accent, and that's really distracting.
We'll fix your timing. Look at our facility.
So Bugs confronts the aliens using his traditional method.
Say, does he have great big long ears? Like this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And does he hop around? Like this? Well, does he say, "What's up, Doc?" like this? What's up, Doc? Yeah! Nope. Never heard of him.
Okay, this is gonna be awesome. How is Bugs gonna get out of this?
Hold on there, Mr. Looney Tune. Don't move a muscle.
Okay, Bunny, gather up your Toon pals. We're taking you for a ride.
Well, okay, he's gonna gather the rest of the Looney Tunes. How are they gonna get out of this?
Come on, all right. You, all of you, are now our prisoners.
We ain't a-going nowhere!
No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. No, 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 no. No. No.
No.
No! No! Please, no!
No! No! No! No! No! No! No! No! Oh, please, God, no!
No!
Let me explain. The Looney Tunes are the most resourceful cartoon characters of all frigging time, especially Bugs. He's the master of trickery and deception. He's outsmarted aliens, gorillas, monsters, hell, even Nazis. If we're sticking to sports-themed cartoons, in one short, he took on an entire baseball team by himself. And won! In another short that came out around the same time of this film, he took on an entire alien invasion by himself. And won! And now you're telling me he can't defeat a bunch of puny, lame-brained aliens with guns?
Lame!
Well, not quite.
Not so fast, Doc. You just can't turn us into slaves. You've got to give us a chance to defend ourselves.
Oh, yeah? Who says?
Hey, read them and wait, boys.
Give them a chance to defend themselves.
Do we have to?
It's in the rule book.
It is.
Okay, let's analyze the competition. Now, what are we looking at here? We got a small race of invading aliens. Small arms, short legs.
Not very fast.
Tiny little guys.
Can't jump high.
We challenge you to a basketball game.
Well, that's not contrived in any way whatsoever. So the aliens go to the real world to steal the talents of notable basketball players of the day.
Wow. He did it.
I got it. I got his talent.
Wait a minute. If these aliens could just steal the talent from these basketball players, why didn't they just steal the talent from the Looney Tunes?
I mean, yeah, really think about it. All these aliens could have done is turned into some dated CGI goo, stolen the Looney Tunes talent, and gone back to Moron Mountain. There, movie over.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Well, that is if these Looney Tunes actually have any talent.
Now, which of you maroons has ever played basketball before? I have, Coach, and there's an important strategic question I need to ask you. Yes, yes? What do you think? I'm kind of partial to purple and gold myself. It goes better with my coloring.
Okay, here's the first major problem with this movie. The jokes in this movie suck! I'll get more into exactly why these jokes don't work later on, but the jokes for the most part are cheap and sophomoric.
I mean, compare these jokes from the original Looney Tunes and then to Space Jam. Looney Tunes?
Well, the poor pussycat locked out of his yard. There, I'll put you back, pussycat.
Space Jam.
I wet myself.
Looney Tunes.
And now then, eager young space cadet, here is the course we shall pursue to find Planet X. Starting from where we are, we go 33,600 turbo miles due up. Then west in an astro-arc deviation to here. Then, following the Great Circle, 7 radio loops south by down to here, and here, by 13-point stratocumulus bearing 4 million light years, and thus to our destination. Now, do you know how to reach Planet X?
Yeah, oh, sure.
Well, I wish you'd explain it to me sometime, Buster.
Well, it's very simple, sir. If we follow those planets, we can't very well miss Planet X.
Space Jam.
We're the Looney Tunes, and as such are the exclusive property and trademark of Warner Brothers, Inc.
Looney Tunes.
Why, you? Hey, now! Cut that out, or... Say, wise guy! Oh, yeah? Yeah! There's a friend. Yes. No. Red. Blue. Drop. Chip. Drop. Put on your own red body. To the fields of clover we read.
Space Jam.
Let's teach them a lesson.
Nice butt.
Looney Tunes.
Package for Bugs Bunny.
Space Jam.
Meth? You're worried about a little meth? There's nothing here a little spit shine wouldn't fix. Spit shine!
Lemony fresh.
Truly, this is comedy gold right here.
Screw the subtle wit of Chuck Jones, or the wild craziness of Bob Clampett, or Tex Avery's groundbreaking cartoony humour. The Looney Tunes spitting on the floor, kissing their butts, wetting their pants, and saying bad catchphrases is exactly what makes these characters so great.
Seriously, 90s kids, this is your childhood classic. The movie where the Looney Tunes live in the center of the earth and kiss their butts.
So the aliens use the basketball stars' talent to turn into giants.
Time to play a little basketball.
Those little pipsqueaks just turned into superstars.
They're monsters.
Suffering succotash. They're monstars.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think we might need a little bit of help.
No, you don't. You're the freaking Looney Tunes. You've gone out of worse scrapes than this.
Oh yeah, by the way, while all this is happening, we have to cut back to a lot of really boring scenes of Michael Jordan and his family.
Hey. Mwah. Ooh, you're all covered with drool, baby.
That's your dog. What's the matter with Jeff?
Well, he went 2 for 5 and lost 32 points in his batting average.
Is that all?
Yeah, so that puts him at like a 685 or something.
What?
Mmm, smells good in here. What you cooking? Chicken.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, folks. This movie's just really boring. Let's just fast forward over this.
Prepare to fast forward.
Preparing to fast forward.
Fast forward.
Fast forwarding, sir.
Today he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
Is this the only thing on TV?
That brings his batting average down to an anemic 214, which also happens to be his playing weight. Baseball bat. Get this guy a tennis racket.
Wait, why are the news programs so obsessed about Michael Jordan's baseball career? Wasn't there, I don't know, a giant spaceship flying over the stadium the other day? Shouldn't that be front page news? Is this world so obsessed with sports that they don't even notice extraterrestrial spacecraft?
Come on, Michael, it's game time. Get your Hanes on, lace up your Nikes, grab your Wheaties and your Gatorade, and we'll pick up a Big Mac on the way to the ballpark.
Wow. You just said all your product placements in one sentence. I mean, there's selling out, but this is a new record. Let's watch that again.
Get your Hanes on, lace up your Nikes, grab your Wheaties and your Gatorade, we'll pick up a Big Mac on the way to the ballpark.
So whilst Jordan is playing golf, he meets Bill Murray!
Good God, he's comedy royalty. He starred in 2 of my all-time favourite comedies, Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day. I mean, he's now in a Looney Tunes movie. I mean, this is a dream come true. Come on, Bill, say something funny.
The NBA has to face reality. What's happening to these players is serious. They're going to need new players with talent, guys who are skilled but never really thought about a professional career before. You think I got a shot?
Come on, Bill. I'm waiting.
It is alive!
Oh, that's right. Let me explain.
You see, as much as I love Bill Murray, when this movie came out, he was going through a little bit of a dry spell. After Ghostbusters 2 and Groundhog Day, he had a falling out with Harold Ramis, and starred in comedy flop after flop after flop until Sofia Coppola saved his career in Lost in Translation. The strange thing is, Bill Murray clearly looks bored, like he doesn't even want to be here.
Listen, it's a man's game. And you can't play.
What if I tried really hard?
Can you keep it down? I'm trying to hit this ball.
It's because I'm white, isn't it?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
So anyway, the Looney Tunes suck Michael Jordan into the center of the earth. Seriously, is no one else bothered by this premise? Where he meets Bugs Bunny.
Oh, look out for that first step, Doc. It's a real Lulu.
Bugs Bunny?
You were expecting maybe the Easter Bunny?
You're a cartoon, you're not real.
That is not how you react to meeting Bugs Bunny for the first time. Allow me to demonstrate how you should react to meeting Bugs Bunny for the first time. Holy shit, it's Bugs Bunny! Oh, sir, I am a huge fan of you. I loved you in What's Up with Doc and Rabbit of Spill. Can I have your autograph, please?
Now, Michael Jordan, to his credit, isn't that bad in the role. He's not great, but keep in mind he had to act out these scenes with the Looney Tunes with literally nothing in the frame. Lots of legitimately good actors have fallen flat doing this, and Bob Hoskins was really the only one who ever pulled it off. So given the circumstances, Jordan is passable. The rest of the sports stars, on the other hand...
I promise I'll never swear again. I'll never get another technical. I'll never trash talk.
I've got other skills. I could go back and work on the farm.
We're fine. It's just some psychosomatic deal or something to do with the moon or the alignment of the planet.
Well, let's just say the aliens stole more than their basketball talents.
What I'm trying to say is, we need your help!
Okay, this is only a minor problem with the movie, but the cinematography is uninspired and lazy.
A large portion of this movie has a lot of extreme close-ups of the characters' faces. This was a common thing in the 90s, and when used sparingly, it can be quite effective.
What I want from you is your voice.
But overusing them is jarring and uncomfortable. I just want to push the screen away from me. The irony of this is that the original Looney Tunes shorts would often play with the language of cinema for comedic effect and create memorable shots in the process, like this. Or this.
I'll kill the rabbit! Away, storm! North winds blow, south winds blow, typhoons, hurricanes, earthquakes! Smog! Lightning! Strike the rabbit!
I just find it sad that a series of short cartoons made 60 to 70 years ago with 2D backgrounds and a modest scale budget were able to come up with more interesting camera angles than an entire big budgeted Hollywood animated movie made a good 50 years later utilizing the then latest technology. Moving on, the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan start to train, and to me, the biggest problem with the movie is most prevalent in this scene.
miss it, but they feel it subconsciously.
I could have tolerated the commercialism in this movie. I could have tolerated the ludicrous plot. I could even have tolerated the Looney Tunes asking for help. But I can't accept this. And that is, the Looney Tunes characters in this movie don't have any character. The reason the Looney Tunes shorts are considered some of the best in the medium, and the reason the characters have lasted so long, isn't just because they have slapstick violence, it's because they also had characterization between the slapstick. Take the Hunting trilogy, for example. You know, the ones where Bugs and Daffy are arguing over what season it is. The humour in these shorts isn't just Daffy getting shot, it's seeing these two personalities work off each other. Bugs is passive unless provoked, but has a cocky and arrogant side that gets joy out of messing with his opponents, while Daffy is greedy, selfish and egotistical, and is only trying to save his own skin. The dialogue is so brilliantly dry and witty with these two ginormous egos working off each other that half the time you're laughing at that before the slapstick actually happens, and when it does, it only accentuates the punchline.
Would you like to shoot me now or wait till you get home?
Shoot him now. Shoot him now.
You keep out of this. He doesn't have to shoot you now.
Ha! That's it. Hold it right there. Pronoun trouble. It's not he doesn't have to shoot you now. It's he doesn't have to shoot me now.
Well, I say he does have to shoot me now.
So shoot me now.
Yes?
The same thing goes for the later day Daffy Duck and Porky Pig cartoons, where most of the humour is that Daffy is a leader with absolutely no idea what he's doing, and Porky Pig being the much more competent sidekick making sarcastic remarks.
Trifle with me, will ya, you ruddy coaster mongers? A clue!
Really, Holmes, you never cease to amaze me.
And when you get down to it, the reason this works is because they're all jerks to each other, just on different levels. They're all sarcastic and snippy with each other, and that was half the fun of watching them talk to each other.
This one. You know, sometimes me conscience kind of bothers me. But not this time.
Even the seemingly innocent Tweety had a maniacal side to him, and his cheerful but diabolical remarks till Sylvester's misery are always the funniest part of the Sylvester and Tweety Pie cartoons.
That putty tat sure is going to a lot of trouble to get into trouble.
Even the silent Roadrunner cartoons have personality. While the Roadrunner himself may not have any personality, he's meant to be more of an obstacle. The coyote is the real star of the cartoons, and what makes his failures funny is his facial expressions before the slapstick. In some cartoons, the characters were so strong that they could carry an entire short by themselves, with no other characters to interact with.
Now look, Buster, let's have an understanding. Now what? Brother, what a way to run a railroad. Now, as I was saying... All right, let's get this picture started. No!
You see, the Looney Tunes is about characters first, then slapstick. The Looney Tunes and Space Jam have no personality. They're all just one-dimensional, cardboard cutout stereotypes of what the writers think the Looney Tunes are.
But we challenge them to a spelling bee.
Say, we could have a bowling tournament.
Suffragetash! What's wrong with all of you? I say we get a ladder. Wait till the old lady's out of the room, then grab that little bird.
Whoa! He could beat Brett, Sly.
The characters are so blandly written and generic that it feels like you can take the script to this movie, replace the Looney Tunes with any random collection of cartoon characters, and nothing about the plot would change. Furthermore, instead of being jerks, the Looney Tunes all seem to be friends and get along just fine, all palsy-walsy and stuff. And I don't know how to break this to you, but cooperation isn't funny. I can't believe they made this mistake. Character interactions are the core of what makes Looney Tunes humour work. It would be like if they took other character-based comedies like Ed, Edd and Eddy, Seinfeld or Ghostbusters and made the characters into one-dimensional cardboard cutouts who all get along peachy. Now would that be funny? No! You just removed 95% of the comedy of these shows. Why did they write them like this? Because characterization wasn't important to the makers of this movie. Selling tennis shoes was more important than doing these characters justice. And that's why I consider this to be one of the worst Looney Tunes interpretations of all time. Because it takes characters that were brimming with personality and portrays them as soulless, boring, one-dimensional cardboard cutouts that tell the lamest jokes and bad catchphrases, which to me is the most insulting thing you can ever do to a character. Do you want to know what other movies have this problem? Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and The Last Airbender movie. Now, I'm not saying Space Jam is as bad as those movies, far from it, but it's the same basic problem. Taking characters with lively personalities and giving them no personality.
Okay. Let's be fair to Space Jam for a moment. I acknowledge it's not easy to write the Looney Tunes characters, as they have such a critically acclaimed legacy to live up to. I mean, come on. It's not like Warner Brothers already had a team of very talented people who perfectly recaptured the magic of the Looney Tunes to a T and were working for them at the exact same time this movie came out, right?
It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So
Yes, they did. Animaniacs and the other Steven Spielberg shows were perfect reinterpretations that were both different but still felt true to the spirit of the original Looney Tunes. These writers like Tom Ruegger and Sherry Stoner created memorable characters, witty jokes, and lines I continue to quote to this day. Warner Brothers could have just hired these writers to write the movie, as they clearly showed they loved and understood these characters and humour and could have done them justice, but no, a 90-minute long Nike commercial was clearly the better choice, because again, selling the tennis shoes was more important than getting these characters right. Oh, and by the way, in one of the final episodes of Animaniacs, there's a brief moment where they take a jab at Space Jam.
No doubt about it, the Warner's movie has captured the nation. And guess who turned down the chance to make this film?
I did.
That's right, Thaddeus Plods. Instead, he chose to make a movie called Jam-A-Lot.
Jam-A-Lot, Jam-A-Lot, I like to shoot the basketball.
shoot the basketball and Jam-A-Lot. Yes, in Jam-A-Lot.
The hero's really tall.
The hero's really tall.
So after the aliens beat Michael Jordan up through some CGI that has really not aged well, he accepts the challenge.
Has anyone here ever played basketball?
I have. I'd like to try out for the team.
Oh god, I forgot about her. Let me introduce to you Lola Bunny.
Yes, the producers added her as an attempt to include more female characters into the Looney Tunes.
Well, okay, fair enough I suppose. The Looney Tunes have always been a bit of a sausage fest, and it's good for little girls to look up to a character in the Looney Tunes. So, okay, tell me what her personality is.
Don't ever call me doll.
Okay, I reiterate. What's her personality? Is she smart? Is she ditzy? Is she tough? Is she sentimental? Is she funny? Is she serious? Is she optimistic? Is she cynical? Is she a dreamer? Is she a realist? Is she romantic? Is she not? Does she have any personality?
Don't ever call me doll.
No, that's what I thought.
She's just a token female character that has absolutely no personality other than being female. Again, going back to Animaniacs, they had tons of great female characters that were all interesting, funny, and were separate from their male counterparts. Dot Warner, Slappy Squirrel, Rita, Minerva Mink, Mindy, and Katie Kaboom. Oh sure, Hello Nurse didn't have any personality, but she was just a throwaway joke character like Chicken Boo. Lola is supposed to be one of the main characters we're supposed to be invested in, and she has no character. Furthermore, I always thought Bugs was something of a womanizer. He'd just hop from girl to girl. Giving him a permanent girlfriend just feels out of character for him. Plus, giving him a female clone of himself as a girlfriend feels outdated, like what they did in the early days of animation. If you want to create a female character, create an entirely new one from scratch, not just a female equivalent of the male lead. So Michael agrees, but claims he needs his special shoes in order to play the big game. So Bugs and Daffy go to Michael's house in order to get the shoes. This scene, for the most part, is just pointless filler, but it does contain a legitimately good scene.
Let's look upstairs. Yes, oh fearless leader.
See, this is the one line of dialogue in this film that feels like something the Looney Tunes would say to each other. This is what I'm talking about. It's sarcastic and snippy and feels like genuine character interaction. I just wish this film had more scenes like this, instead of stupid crap like this.
Nice butt.
So whilst getting the shoes, they are attacked by Michael Jordan's dog, who seems a lot bigger now than in the scene he was introduced in, but the kids shoo him off and they meet the Looney Tunes.
Bye-bye.
Hey, where you going?
Well, you see, the Looney Tunes have a big basketball game coming up, and your dad's gonna play.
All right.
Wow, you seem to be taking cartoon characters kidnapping your dad pretty well, don't you, kid?
So they get back the shoes and they're ready to play the big...
Oh, God. Okay, I was joking about Michael Jordan being Jesus, okay? But putting a halo above his head is a little on the nose, don't you think?
Michael! Is it really you? Oh, thank God you're all right. You're all right. Oh.
Wait a minute. How'd you get to the center of the earth? Answer me, damn it.
I gotta take you back. You got baseball practice.
I can't. I'm helping my friends in their basketball game.
Michael, do you know that your friends are cartoon characters?
Racist.
Let me help. Let me help. I can help. I can help. I'll do anything, Michael. Anything.
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 Come here. Sit right here.
All right. Let's go, team. You know, if somebody gets injured, we could see a lot of minutes.
I'm a cheerleader.
Oh, June Foray, why was this the last thing I heard you in before you died? Now at this point it occurs to me that I haven't really discussed the animation in this film, and it is hands down the best aspect of this movie. The animation was done by Bruce W. Smith, who's best known for his work at Disney, creating the TV series The Proud Family and animating Dr. Facilier in The Princess and the Frog. Seriously, if you haven't seen Princess and the Frog, go out and watch it now, it's frigging awesome. And whilst the animation in Space Jam isn't anything to rave home about, he did a decent job. Despite some occasional and pretty glaring animation errors, it's not his fault he was given such a horrendous script to work with, and he does throw a bit of references to the old cartoons in the background. However, due to the script, they come off more as if he's saying, "Hey, yeah, sorry about this guys, we know you hate this, but here's a bit of fan service to make up for it." So the big game is here and they're ready to play.
Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Toon Squad!
Seriously, that is the most dated name ever. As a matter of fact, this entire movie is dated.
Now don't get me wrong, there are aspects of the original Looney Tunes shorts that are dated. Some of the shorts heavily feature caricatures of popular celebrities of the time and sing popular songs of the era, but those shorts only happened occasionally. Most of the time, the shorts had a timeless quality to them. A kid wouldn't look at something like What's Opera Doc or Duck Amuck and go, "Oh my god, that is so 1957 or whatever." Unless you had a really good knowledge of your animation history, you wouldn't be able to tell which exact decade they were made in. But this, there's no way you can mistake it for 1996. From the clothes to the music to everything just screams 1996. It might make an interesting time capsule, but that's not what made the Looney Tunes great. Anyway, back to the movie.
Forward, the Quexter of the Court, Daffy Duck.
Thank you! Thank you!
Alright, Space Jam, you told one funny joke, you get 1 point.
So the Looney Tunes play off against the Monstars, and they immediately get their asses handed to them. Wait, seriously? Again, you're the frigging Looney Tunes.
More on mountain. Here we come.
We're gonna be sways.
Come on, guys, keep your head up. A whole nother half to play.
The Monstars stole the talent from the NBA players.
I think we should forfeit.
Yeah. No! You're the Looney Tunes! You can beat these guys really easily!
So the Looney Tunes are so desperate that Bugs convinces them to take performance-enhancing drugs. That's actually just water. The Looney Tunes start to improve, and
Okay, Birdie.
Guys, this movie's just given up and it's just throwing random crap at the wall.
so the Looney Tunes learned they were just drinking water all along in a cheap attempt to teach some sort of half-assed moral.
It didn't wear off. It was just water. You guys had the special stuff inside of you all along.
And knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe!
Then Michael Jordan makes a confusing deal with the aliens.
Why didn't you get this guy? He's the one I want for Moron Mountain.
Hey, you want a piece of me? Come and get it.
What did you have in mind?
What about we raise the stakes a little bit?
Interesting.
If we win, you give the NBA players their talent back.
But what if we win?
If you win,
Uh-huh.
you get me.
You'll be our star attraction. You'll sign autographs all day long and play one-on-one with the paying customers. And you'll always lose. Do we have a deal?
Deal.
Okay, 3 things.
1. You're putting the NBA and some cartoon characters you just met a few days ago ahead of your own family. 2. Having Michael Jordan lose to the customers every time sounds like a really bad business decision on the aliens' part. Come to Moron Mountain and easily win against the world's greatest basketball player every single time.
And 3, this deal no longer makes this Looney Tunes movie about the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes are no longer in any danger, so what's the point of them being in this movie?
So now the Monstars crush the Looney Tunes, except for Lola, because according to this movie, female characters can never get hurt. So Wayne Knight gets called up and is immediately crushed and...
Let's get him out of here!
Ah, that CGI is horrifying.
How'd you do that?
Oh, anybody could do that, Doc. Even you. Watch this.
No sweat. This is Looney Tune Land.
You're telling him this now? No, that may have been helpful when you guys were at your lowest point.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Your Airness, but if you don't find a 5th player, your team will forfeit the game.
Forfeit?
Precisely, Sir Altitude.
No way. We'll find someone.
Wait a minute, how did you get down here?
Pardon me, Mr. Murray, something's really been bugging me.
Yeah?
Just how did you get here, anyway?
Producer's a friend of mine, just had a teamster come and drop me off,
Breaking the fourth wall will get you nowhere.
So in this epic climax to this Looney Tunes movie, the Looney Tunes do next to nothing. So they win the game and Bill Murray goes home.
But I'm going to take this opportunity to retire from the game of basketball.
No, come on.
No, I'm going to retire right now, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to go out on top undefeated and untied. That's the way it's going to be.
Yeah, they're only paying me by the minute. Who cares? See ya!
All right, the party's over. Get in the spaceship.
Why you take it from this guy?
Because he's bigger. He's bigger
Than we used to be.
What are you doing?
You're telling him this now? You could have told him that at the beginning of the... Oh god, this script is lazy. Oh, just let's get this over with.
Can we ask you a favor, Mr. Bunny? We don't want to go back to Moron Mountain.
We hate it up there.
It stinks. I was thinking, could we stay here with you?
Please.
Oh, brother. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are loony enough.
Loony enough?
You know, that's a pretty accurate representation of what the writers think the Looney Tunes are.
So after that, everyone just basically gives up and goes home, with Michael Jordan flying back into the baseball stadium in the spaceship.
I believe I can fly. Woo. I think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door.
Seriously, nobody questions the freaking spaceship flying into the just moving on.
And he gives back the basketball players their talent.
This back. You want to see something? Good.
Hey, Michael, why don't you stay and play some 3-on-3 with us?
Man, leave the baseball player alone, man. You know he doesn't play basketball anymore.
You know, he probably doesn't even have it anymore, guys.
Michael, do you hear that? They don't think you can play the game anymore.
The Chicago Bulls welcome back, Michael Jordan!
Only to drop out 2 years after this film, then come back again, then finally drop out again in 2003, making this entire movie entirely pointless!
So what happened to the Looney Tunes? After their big battle for their freedom, they must have had a successful and happy life, right?
Actually, the exact opposite happened. Due to the success of this movie at the box office, Warner Bros. Realised that making marketable Looney Tunes projects was more important than making good Looney Tunes projects. Shortly after this film, they canned most of the Spielberg shows, took the old cartoons off TV, meddled the hell out of Joe Dante's Back in Action to try and make it more like Space Jam, causing it to bomb at the box office, and started making more marketable disasters like the Tiny Toons downgrade Baby Looney Tunes, the abomination that was Lunatics Unleashed, and the mediocrity that was the Looney Tunes show. Due to this, the Looney Tunes have severely declined in popularity because of Warner Bros. Interference, and Space Jam was the first one to start that. The irony is, the movie about the Looney Tunes fighting for their freedom against being enslaved by a corporate overlord turned them into slaves for their own corporate overlords.
This is how bad things have gotten. I was working at a school once, and I was talking to this 5 or 6 year old girl, and she had never even heard who Bugs Bunny was. I don't know about you, but as a Looney Tunes fan, I find that extremely depressing.
And with that said, Space Jam sucks. It contains none of the charm or wit of the original Looney Tunes. the original Looney Tunes could appeal to both children and adults, and they are still regarded by the animation community, fans, and historians as one of the greatest achievements in animation and comedy. And hopefully, Animaniacs and Who Framed Roger Rabbit will follow in their footsteps. Space Jam is nothing. It's a commercialized piece of crap that's desperately trying to appeal to the 90s generation. It cares so little about the Looney Tunes that it doesn't even have the word Looney Tunes in the title.
Now with that said, a lot of people who grew up in the 90s really like this movie, and that's perfectly okay.
For many children in the 90s, it was their first exposure to the Looney Tunes. Is it the best way to be introduced to the characters? Well, no, but then again, my introduction was through Back in Action, and that wasn't necessarily the best way to be introduced either. And to be fair, it's not the worst film ever made. I mean, there's no bad messages or rants and morals in this movie or anything. It's just stupid. It's a stupid concept, stupid writing, and stupid execution. At best, it's a harmless diversion you put on to shut your kids up for an hour and a half while you fix dinner. And that's not what the Looney Tunes were to me. Honestly, I would have given this movie a pass as a cheesy 90s time capsule if it had just been original characters. The problem is that they used the Looney Tunes, who have a highly acclaimed and legendary past.
Do you want to know something? Chuck Jones, arguably one of the greatest animators of all time, and one of the original directors on the original Looney Tunes, was still alive at the time this movie came out. He directed some of the best shorts ever made and created the most memorable characters of the Looney Tunes, maybe even of all time. And you know what? He didn't like this movie very much.
He said it didn't do the characters justice and it didn't respect the legacy. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't just a guy who was complaining, everything was better in my day. He was actually supportive of a lot of animated projects in the 90s.
Did you like Beauty and the Beast?
Loved it.
Why?
I think it should have won. Well, because there again, I mean, I think the animation on the Beast is one of the great pieces of animation I've seen. It was done by a remarkable young man, too.
When he talked, you really got the impression that he really knew his craft and he knew what he was talking about. Sort of like you were talking to Yoda or a wise sensei master.
Suddenly I realized, and everybody suddenly realized, we had to make these characters come to life. Now then, all you had to do is go back and find a dictionary written by a man named Noah Webster, who in about 1845, wrote under his name, animation, to invoke life. Well, you can't say it any better than that. If it doesn't, and by that I mean, if you can't tell what's happening by the way the character moves, you're not animating. It isn't what they say. That's why, much as I admire Matt Groening and people like that, that is not animation in the sense that we're talking about. I find today when I travel on an aircraft that that's a pretty good way of judging a feature picture. I just don't put the things on if it can get my interest and it looks like a good picture by the way it moves, then it may be worthwhile putting those earphones on and listening to it.
So whenever he said something about the industry, even though I didn't agree with all his opinions, I still had an enormous amount of respect for him, and I agree 100% with his thoughts on this movie. Honestly, if you're a Looney Tunes fan, just watching 7 or 8 Looney Tunes shorts, 3 episodes of Animaniacs, or 1 viewing of Who Framed Roger Rabbit will be far more satisfying than this bloated commercial. Again, if you liked this movie as a child and you still like it now for nostalgic reasons, that's perfectly fine, keep on liking it. But that doesn't mean you can't acknowledge it has flaws, and if you're seriously trying to claim this film is some grand epic masterpiece in the same league as Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, then I think you might need to remove your nostalgia goggles and see what it really is.
I am definitely giving Space Jam 1.5 stars of awesomeness out of 4. It is definitely a big insult to Chuck Jones, Tex Avery, Bob Clampett and Friz Freleng and all the other talented artists that worked on Looney Tunes. And this movie must be destroyed. This is for you, Chuck. It's just, this seemed like this was their last shot to make a truly great Looney Tunes movie before the last creator died. And they blew it. And the Looney Tunes products never reached the same heights. It's just, if it wasn't for these executives who thought making money was the only important thing, do you think the Looney Tunes would be in the same predicament they're in today? Or will there be a second Looney Tunes renaissance? I hope so. Now, only time will tell.
Return, my love. A longing burns deep inside me.
Return, my love. I want you always beside me.
Love like ours must be